Hi guys, in this tutorial we're going to continue looking at how to use aggregate functions combined with group clause. So the strategy we're going to adopt is to keep looking at some requirements. So getting enough practice using different requirements, writing queries that meets different business requirements would help us a lot in learning and grasping some of these concepts. So let's say we have a requirement that says uh, prepare a report that shows the number of prepare a report that shows the number of employees in each department. Okay, so this is the requirement we are looking at. Prepare reports that shows the number of employees in each department. So in this case, what do I need to do? I want to know the number of employees in each department. Okay, so like I always say, try to imagine or try to visualize what your report will look like. And how do I mean? You should be able to know, looking at the requirement, thinking through the requirement, you should be able to know that, okay, I think I need to return two columns. Sometimes the requirement already tells you the number of columns required. Sometimes it's not like that. So you need to know, okay, in order to meet this report, because as a data analyst, you are also expected to, they don't want to tell you every little thing. Okay, it's your job. You have claimed to have the skill, so you can't expect that you'll be told every little thing. So it doesn't work like that. So from the requirement you should be able to figure out, okay, so how many columns do I need? Looking at this requirement, preparing a report that shows number of employees in each department, this tells me that I need department column. Okay, select department. So this is the first column because we want to see the number of employees in each department. So I'm going to have two columns at the minimum. I could have three if I want, but at the minimum, I need a column that shows department and another column that shows the number of employees working in that department. So what does this suggest to you? If I want a column that shows number of employee, that column must be an aggregate column. Okay, and so which of the aggregate functions do you think would be useful here in order to get the number of employees working in each department? So the one you want to use is count. Then you say count all. That is, count all the employees or count all the rows in employees table from employees. Now, when you finish counting, you have to group it because now you want to break it down. So you have to group by what? So you want 1,000 records to be counted because you have 1,000 rows, or we have 1,000 employees, or we have 1,000 records in this table. So I want a column that will count all this. And of course, it's going to be counted as 1,000. But I also want to break down this 1,000 into different departments. And so I have to group by department. Group by department. Now, if for a second I'm going to comment this group by line. So if I run only select department, count all from employees, let's run only this and see the kind of error we're going to have. You see, the error says department must appear in the group by clause. So anything that you want to count, as long as you have another column beside, either before or after the aggregate column. Aggregate column, I mean count all. It could be sum, it could be mean, it could be max, it could be any of those aggregate functions. So this is an aggregate, this is going to return, this aggregate function is going to return an aggregate column. So whatever non-aggregate column you have in your query, you have to use it in a group by clause. That's the rule. So you need to know the rule. So for this query to run, anytime you have an aggregate function and you want to return another column, which is of course a non-aggregate column, you need to put that non-aggregate column in a group by clause. So now if I uncomment this group by, and now let's run this. So select department, count all. If I want, I can say count, I can use employee ID here. I already explained this to you in one of the previous tutorials. If I want, I can do it like this, but I always prefer to do count star, count all the records. So select department, count all from employees, then group by department. Now, if we run this, let's see what we have. We have 27 rows. And can you guess why? We have 27 rows because we have 27 departments in this table. And what we want to do is to count the number of employees working in each department. So in pharmacy, we have 38 employees. In children clothing, we have 47 employees. In camping, we have 36 employees. In games, we have 36 employees. Like that. In beauty, we have 45. In computers, we have 47. In tools, we have 39. In maintenance, we have 8. Cosmetics, we have 34. Device repair, we have 51. Like that. So this query is returning two columns. The first column is the department. That's the column that shows the department we have in employees table. So this column is a non-aggregate column. The second column is an aggregate column, is the count column. Of course, count is an aggregate function, so it returns an aggregate column. So this is the second column, which is an aggregate column. So for us to break down the 1,000 employees working in this company, we have to group by department. Now, let's say I want to see the number of employees too. If you put another column here, you need to also put it in the group by. Okay, so anytime you have another non-aggregate column combined with an aggregate column, you need to put it in a group by. And this is what we have. So it only requires critical thinking. It takes practice. You kind of think through what the query is doing, and you can, from looking at the requirement, you can guess or you can imagine or visualize what the report should look like even before you run the query. You should be able to tell, you should be able to like visualize what you are expecting, so that will inform, okay, what are the columns I need to put in this query, what are the conditions I need to add in this query. So let's say this requirement goes on to say, prepare a report that shows. I'm going to copy this requirement and paste it down. Let's quickly look at another requirement. So let's say I have this other requirement that says prepare a report that shows the number of male employees. This is the only difference, males. The number of male employees working in each department. Now we want to know the number of male employees working in each department. So this is the requirement we are looking at now. So what do I need to do to this query? This is not showing the number of males. This is showing both male and female because we don't have a condition that says male. But now we have a condition. Prepare a report that shows the number of male employees working in each department. So all I need to do, and we have looked at how to specify a condition. So for you to specify a condition, you need your where clause. So select from, and you need to understand this order. So after your select, you have the from, and if there is a condition, it follows the from. So here we're going to say select department count all from employees, and now it's time for my condition. I say where gender where gender equals male. That's the condition. So where gender equals males. And for you, if you need to combine where clause in your wherever you are using a group by, you need to understand the arrangement. Okay, which one comes first? After my select, where am I selecting from? I'm selecting from employees. Okay, do you have a condition? Yes. I'm selecting from employees where gender equals male. So what you are saying is, I only want to see the male employees. I don't want you to look at all the employees where gender equals male. So which one comes first now that we have group by? So I'm going to say from employees, group by department, or where gender equals male. Which one comes first? Of course, is your where that comes first. Where gender equals male, then where you see gender equals male, group it by department. Now let's run and see what we have. Now we have 22 males in pharmacy, we have 26 male in clothing, and we have 18 in camping, like that. It has changed. If I comment out this where clause, so now we are not running the filter, we are not running this condition. Just take a note, just watch this aggregate column, the count column. You see that the number will increase because we don't have a condition. Now I'm going to run again. See, we have 38 males and females in pharmacy. But if I run with the condition, I only want to see males. You see, this count will drop because we're only looking at male. You see, pharmacy is now 22, children clothing is now 26. So this is just to show you that you can combine your aggregate column with group by and still add your filter, your condition. You can still combine it together with where clause. So anytime you have a condition and you're using an aggregate function and group by, this is the order of the syntax. Select, from, where, then group by. If I want, I can still order this if I want. But we're going to stop here for now. And in the next tutorial, we'll look at more examples of how to use aggregate function with group by and also specify conditions. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.